Good afternoon and welcome to the Alex Urbina radio show. We're broadcasting live from Newhall, California, right here in your hometown station, KHTS. Joining me in studio is my co-host, Ellen Tunick. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You've been on a little getaway.
Hiatus.
Yeah. Having fun,
Little
enjoying
Vegas
yourself.
Trip. Yes.
Post all of your
holiday
craziness, which is part of our show today. We're going to be talking about being stuck in the middle of family conflict. Are you open for some coaching?
I'm very open for some coaching.
And that's what I love about you is that as long as you're open, we get to learn, including myself, right? Always being open to possibilities so that we can create some new insight. If we can see things in a different way, we can make different choices, thus creating different kinds of results. But if you're not open to all possibilities, or you're not open to seeing things from different perspectives, then you have this fixed mindset, right. And then you
go nowhere.
You're wondering why you keep making the same choices, creating the same results,
right.
And you're stuck. So talk about being stuck in the middle of family conflicts. What do you mean by that? What does that mean? Kind of explain that to me a little bit.
Okay, so being stuck in the middle when you have multiple family members, and everybody has an idea about what somebody should be doing or saying or being or, doing that. And me getting a little bit from what each one of them is saying, and sometimes feeling responsible for making things happen.
Based on other people's opinions of what they think you should be doing.
Yes.
All right. Now, the two different families from two different sides having their opinions about what you should be doing.
Yes.
Are they supporting you at all, or they're just sitting in the sidelines being a critic?
We're evolving into support. It started out as criticism. And I struggle with, I just am who I am. And I'm okay with that. I'm getting, finally, after so many years, getting to be okay with that. And so if that means that I'm not going to walk in and be that hard ass, I'm okay with that. But not everybody else seems to be okay with that.
So does that mean that majority of the people on both sides want you to be that hard stand and be that type of person, or having that personality?
Correct.
Okay.
And I don't want to be that person.
Well, you don't have to be that person.
Hallelujah.
And this is why. There's only, you can create results multiple ways, and it doesn't have to look like one way. What I mean by that is everybody has different leadership styles, right? There's the type A personality, and their leadership style is to come in and just, kick butt, right? Get in and just, start telling people what to do, drawing a line, standing on the line, and really being brutal with that line that they're standing. But not everybody has that style. There's very powerful leaders that can create the same, if not better, results without having that brutal leadership ability. So I think, for one, you have to get clarification on your own leadership style and have enough assurance in yourself that you can create the results that you intend, and you don't have to be a specific way. You just got to be creative enough to try to figure out how to create those results from the style that you are. So what kind of style are you?
What if I don't want to be part of it at all?
Well, then that's a whole different topic. That's a matter of you deciding that, and then deciding that to find the courage to be able to say that to all parties so that you can transition yourself out of being in the middle or being a part of something that you've decided not to be a part of.
And this is where my own conflict comes from, is that I don't know what my leadership style is, probably. So I tend to kind of remove myself. But then do I really want to remove myself, or do I want to have some impact on the situation? Yes. Um, but I pull in from all the different judgment sides. And I want to be able to just decide what is it that I really want in this situation.
Which is a great point, because I think that all conflicts that arise for every human being, people can see it as a conflict, like, oh my God, I'm in a conflict. Oh my God, I'm in a crisis. And they can give it a negative connotation. Or you can give it a different kind of meaning, and you can choose to see it as an opportunity. Now, for me, I've been practicing the art of shifting my perspectives in so many different ways that most conflicts that arise, or confrontations, I see them as opportunities. And the reason why is because I ask myself one powerful question: what does this mean to me now? And what do I want to do about it? Like, where do I want to go from here? So if you're in a conflict, you should be asking yourself, what does this mean to me? What do I want to do about it? And where do I want to go from here? How do I want to be in interaction with what's happening right in front of me? Because you're the meaning maker. You get to decide how you want to play in this game called whatever the game's titled, right? Whatever it is called, whatever it's titled.
Yeah.
You get to decide how you want to play it, because it's your life. However, I think there might be some things that are kind of tugging at your heart.
Yes.
And you've jumped in because of some fear-based things, like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want someone to fail because of me. Or if no one helps, where are they going to go? So you probably have all of these fear-based stuff.
Yes.
That's getting in the way, which has you choose to be in there in the first place.
Right. And that, and all that fear-based stuff, I've obviously been doing a tremendous amount of processing and thinking, is I actually have a fear of abandonment.
Okay, so this is a great one. So if someone has a fear of abandonment, that's going to cause that person to cling on to people.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to cause that person to figure out how to be so nice and make things so pleasant so that the person never leaves them.
And yet, on the flip side of that, I really want that person to leave.
But it contradicts. It's
I
a
know
contradiction.
it does, and therefore the conflict that is created inside is, I truly want this person to move forward, move on.
Yeah.
But I love having that person here, and I don't want to lose that person.
Okay, so this is a great description of people that are
codependent.
Yeah, that are enablers,
Yeah.
right? They're loving people.
Should we wave some flags?
Yeah, we all have some enabling in us, including myself. When it comes to my kids, I love them so much
Yes.
that we want the best for them. But you gotta learn where the line is, where you don't cross into enabling your kids. So there's that part of us that when we love someone so much and we want the best for them, there's a contradiction, because as we make it easier for them to stay
And do nothing.
and we make it easier for them to stay so that they don't have to figure out how to do for themselves.
Yes.
We're basically training them how to stay there longer.
Yes.
So we're not really empowering them to find their own courage, to discover their own wings, and to flap really hard with the champion that's inside of them so they can fly onto their own.
Yes.
So, but it's this powerful contradiction that we have as enablers, that we want them to go, but yet we don't want them to go because we felt like we need them and we want them there. So it's
a
tug,
push tug.
right? Yeah.
Pull tug.
And so you're going to have to get some clarity and decide one or the other, because there's prices that are being paid that you're paying,
And everybody else
and
is
everyone
too.
else is, including the person that you might be coddling or
Right.
enabling or making it very
Or
simple for them.
creating this very safe, loving, cushy environment.
Exactly. And so for me, one of the things that I had to go through earlier on in my parenting career was trying to have a vision in the future. I had to foresee my kids in their 30s and their 40s, where I enabled them so bad that they never learned any leadership skills. They never fully discovered how truly powerful they are, and that they turned to me for everything. And then I'm standing there looking at my 35, 30, 40-year-old kids and really just feeling like I failed as a parent. Again, this is a vision that I created when they were younger. So when they were 7 or 8 years old, I created this imaginary vision of them in the future, and me standing there looking back going, oh my God, what could I have done when they were 6, 7, 12, 20 even, to help them learn how to swim for themselves or fish for themselves or hunt for themselves. These are all metaphors for taking on your own life and navigating it in a powerful way. And so that vision of me standing there, I was heartbroken that I had not taught my kids how to develop their own interpersonal courage and champion inside of them to go and take on the world. So that vision of me being in the future had to tell my younger self, hey, Alex, you're going to have to learn how to not have this be about you. Because if it was about me and it was selfish, I wanted to do all the things for my kids. Every challenge they had, I wanted to fix it for them. Everything that made them feel pain or any tough situation, I wanted to come in and fix it or comfort them or do it for them. But I intuitively knew that if I did that, they would not learn how
the pain would be
how to deal with the pain themselves, how to feel the pain and learn what the learning lesson was for them to course correct. I just knew that intuitively that vision of me in the future, I didn't want that.
Can we put an extra layer in here?
Absolutely.
So the layer is, I did pretty well with my kids. They're all out there, successful, blah, blah, blah. But I haven't been able to do it with my grandchildren.
Okay, so
it's that grandparent layer.
Yeah, so, and this is a great topic because a lot of times as parents, we're in that strong, tough, like, sorry, buddy, figure it out, right? We're in that. We got a little bit of balance. We love them, we support them, but we don't enable them. When you become grandparents, it frees you up from parenting them. And it's like, I just want to love you, sweetie, so much and just shower you with gifts.
Yeah.
And then your mom and dad's job is to do what I did to them, which is be that stand, be that line. So, and people are probably going to send me emails when I say it.
Emails
I'm sure they will. That's why I don't believe that grandparents should be raising kids, because it's their time to enjoy and shower their grandkids with love and be the offset or the off balance of what their parents don't, where they don't bend, right?
Right.
However, I know that there are millions of grandparents that are stepping in to support their kids in helping raise or parent their children, because maybe that child needs a little bit more of a loving stand that grandma has or grandpa has. However, grandma and grandpa can't be all on one side of all loving and accepting. You got to learn how to bring back some of those tools that you obviously had at one point, and you got to practice them a little bit more so that you're in the middle.
Yeah, being in the middle.
Right now, you're a little
I'm
bit.
all the way on
you're
one side.
slid over there.
I mean, I'll admit it all day long.
You're in grandma mode, where you just want to love the heck out of them, create the safe space to go, honey. Here you
Everything's
go.
gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
So you're gonna
everything's
you have to
be
decide
fine.
a role. If you're gonna be grandma, and then be grandma with that person not being in your space where you're enabling or coddling them. Then they can come over for grandma love.
Yeah.
From a different context. But if they're going to be in your home or they're going to be there where you're having interaction with them, you're going to have to decide to slide back over and be a little bit more of a stand for them.
Yes.
Which means it's going to be that little bit of that tough love that you're going to have to learn how to bring out. I know. But, you know.
It was so easy with my kids. I didn't find that difficult. I found
It
not
was
that
it
there
was a
weren't
different it was a
challenges.
different stage though.
Yeah, I
You had to get
mean,
up, put your boots on, and go to work
yeah, and
every
I
day,
I
and you had to
loved them unconditionally, but
yeah
I had no issue saying
no
no.
yeah or
The
figure it
answer to
out
that one is no.
yeah or figure it out or hey I don't
Yeah,
tough or you know
you
what
know, didn't ask you for your opinion
yeah
right now.
yeah
You know, that was not an option. This is how we need to have. Was not difficult for
so
me.
so earlier when you said I don't know what my style is, my
Yeah.
leadership style,
Okay.
I was going to tell you, I'll tell you what that is because
Yeah,
I can
bring it
see it
on.
from the outside. I can see it. Your leadership style now is a loving style, and it's consistent with you being in grandma mode. Grandma mode is all loving. Now, in all loving, you can still take a stand. You can learn how to create a healthy stand from the all loving place. You just got to learn how to develop that part of you.
That's exactly what I was looking for because in my head, I'm thinking it's one or the other. I'm either the all loving grandma or I'm the one that's, putting my foot down and
Yeah,
saying, this is how it's going to be.
yeah,
And that goes against my heart.
yeah. I feel you, and it goes against my heart too because when I was younger, by default, um, I was kind of because of my personality style, I was just that hardcore, tough guy.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to soften up, be more vulnerable, be more loving. And inside the loving development, there's a part there where you can learn how to inspire people. So you can inspire people with sliding back to the middle area where you learn how to take a stand for someone from a loving place.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know this that deal with people that have like addiction. You if you ever live with someone that has an addiction, and you love them so much that you want them to get help for themselves, but you know that if I help them too much, then I'll be enabling them and being a part of the problem. So you have to learn how to slide down into the middle and from a loving place say no. And I'm saying no because I love you,
Right.
even though in your head you're seeing it or interpreting it as that I'm out to get you. So you have to learn how to communicate when you're standing there and trust that at some point they're going to see it, whether it's today, tomorrow, 5 years later, 10 years later, or never.
Or never. That
You're
I have to be okay with that never.
That's right.
I have to be okay with they may choose to turn away
Yeah,
from me
or abandon you.
or
As
abandon me, whatever that means.
But that's where your love has to be so rigorous that in your heart you go, I know when I made that decision,
It
it was
was
for his or her better interest. And it was because I don't want to be a part of the problem. Because when I'm enabling you and I'm making it safe and easy for you, I become now part of the problem.
right. I'm just as much of the problem.
Yeah. So when you have that awareness and when you decide that that's your awareness for yourself, then all of a sudden it makes it a little bit easier for you to slide that scale down to the center where you can kind of do a little bit of a dance.
Yeah,
From,
back
I
and
get to
forth.
love you in this moment.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow when you come and you want to ask me for this, no, sorry. Like you have to know also where your framework is too. And when your
Right.
framework is solid and centered and grounded and you know what your principles are, then it's easy to just stand there. Yeah, this is yes.
And this is no.
Hey buddy, this is no. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is where I
I
stand.
literally said my first no yesterday.
Yay! And you know what's funny is no means so many things for so many different people. I've been learning in the last 20 years how to reframe the word no. And I remember this one lady came into this corporate training and she actually taught this to me or the group and I learned it. It was that no doesn't necessarily mean no. It just means no, not right now. And, it could be, no, not right now or no, not in these conditions.
Yeah.
Or
It might just mean no always.
yeah, yeah. However, the word no, when you start to learn, give it different meanings and create more empowering meanings behind it, you'll start to pull that tool out a lot more, especially if you know that the word no is going to actually be helping someone rather than the yes is going to be hurting someone. And when we come back from the break, we'll talk more about this and get a little more deeper on being stuck in the middle of family conflicts and trying to figure out how to support people where you're not enabling them and you're not making it easier for them to lean on you for the rest of their life, especially with our kids. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
What if you could wake up without the burden of owing over $10,000 in taxes to the IRS or state? Call the trusted name in tax resolution, Anthem Tax Services. 866-630-2694.
Anthem saved me nearly $17,000 and settled my debt with the IRS for just $100.
We are ready to negotiate your tax debt and reach a settlement that makes sense for you. Call for a free consultation. 866-630-2694. 866-630-2694.
There are times when nothing else will do because you know exactly what you want. You want the Alamo, the taste of true Mexican cooking at its best. At Alamo, you're treated to a taste that is truly Mexican with an atmosphere to match. Enjoy a Cadillac margarita, try a mucho burrito, or sizzling fajitas. Voted the best Mexican food in the SCV and a favorite of former supervisor Mike Antonovich. Alamo Rotisserie in Granary Square, serving Santa Clarita for over 30 years.
Hometown, your hometown station.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show, broadcasting live from Newhall, California on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Today we're talking about being stuck in the middle of family conflicts, and I'm talking to Ellen Tunick a little bit about, opening up these possibilities for ourselves to figure out how to please other people that are on the outside, either giving advice or their feedback, or being critical on the way that you're handling certain situations, right? But more specifically, it looks like there's a scenario where you're trying to support someone in your family, and you, in your own accord, are coming up against where's the line that I draw between really trying to support somebody and being there for them as a help and a support versus
as a motivator.
Yeah, and inspiring them, or crossing over into the I'm enabling you,
Right.
and I'm making
here's
it
the soft, cushy couch.
and I'm making it very easy for you to not have to
do anything.
Find your own courage,
Yeah.
find your own champion, get out in the world, and take some licks.
Take some licks.
Yeah, and I want to talk about this for a minute, because as parents listen in, and as you're listening, you're trying to check in with yourself and go, am I an enabler? Do I enable? Are there parts of me that I love my kids so much I jump in and save them? And the answer is yes, because we all do it, including myself. And I have to be mindful and catch myself, because there are times where when I do it too much, I'm sending a message that, hey, I'll always be here for you, for everything.
Right.
Now, I don't want I don't want my kids to always be turning to me for everything. So, and here's an example. The other day, my youngest daughter, who's the baby of the bunch, and she's the fun, loving, happy, vivacious, really, not
Life of the party.
Yeah,
girl.
and she's just, her attention span to do stuff that's important. She doesn't care about certain things, right? So she comes over and I go, I notice your brakes are really low. We're going to put some brake fluid in there. So she avoided me for a couple of days, and I just kept dropping these seeds. Hey, if you crash, I don't, I might not come visit you. Just little things, just little seeds to just rile her up. So finally she comes over today and she goes, all right, I'm ready, to get do my brakes. I'm like, okay, great. So she grabs her key and she's walking outside, and I go, oh, you forgot something else. And she goes, what? And I go, you forgot the brake fluid.
The brake fluid.
Well, where is it at? I'm like, well, let me show you where it's at. So mindfully now, I'm standing next to her, guiding her on what she needs to do to put in her
and
own.
not doing it for
exactly.
her.
Now, every ounce of me, as a dad who loves my kids more than I love myself, wants to do it for her.
Like, sit there, princess. I'll take
care
of it.
That's my baby.
Yeah.
But I know that if I make her be the princess and she doesn't learn how to do it for herself, get her hands dirty, even burn herself on the engine or whatever it takes for her to figure out how to learn how to put her own brake fluid, I'm enabling her.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between, sorry, you figured out, right?
Right.
I don't want to be that dad.
No.
But it's, all right, here you go. And I'm going to walk you through the process, but you're going to manually do it all by yourself. And so, she huffing and puffing, she grabs the
eye rolling.
Yeah, grabs the brake fluid, comes outside, all right. She's like, now what? I'm like, you're going to have to open up your hood. And we did it. It was literally
step by step.
Basic steps of how to open up your hood. She'll open it up. Okay, this is the tank. Open it up. What do you see? So I had to teach her. I had to teach her how to put brake fluid in her car, but it's the stepping stones for other things in her life. Right?
Yes.
When she calls me, hey, the water heater's not working. Hey, I'm going to come over and I'm going to guide you through it.
Yeah, but you're going to do it.
Yeah, and there's certain things I'll do for her, like lifting heavier things. There's certain things, but I got to be mindful of not doing everything for my kids, because then I become an enabler. And they'll never learn how to develop perseverance. They'll never learn how to develop critical thinking. They'll never learn how to be that powerful, competent leader if you're there doing it for them.
Right.
The thinking, the planning, the calling, the fixing, all of that stuff.
There's no need for them to develop those skill sets.
So it brought up something that I thought about, and that's the part of struggle in life. And I know you can identify with this. If you look back at all of the parts of you when you were a kid and growing up, where you developed this idea of yourself being this little mini champion, right, of your own life. I'm sure they all came through all of the struggles that you had to endure in your life.
Right.
Right? Every time you got laid off and you were bumming around the house and moping, and then you figured out how to pick yourself up, start making phone calls, create interviews, go on interviews, boom, get hired. All of those moments where you had to struggle were opportunities for you to figure out that there's a champion inside of you. Now, as you grew up in that environment, it was probably because of the home that you grew up in. It was like your dad's mindset. Absolutely. And it was your mom's mental toughness that says, sorry, honey, figure it out. Or it was the time you grew up in.
Yeah.
Where you just didn't get stuff handed to you. And so it created an opportunity for you to decide, well, then I'm going to have to do it for me. If I want to drive, my mom's not going to buy lessons for me to drive and make it easy. I'm going to have to go take the classes. I'm going to go figure it out for myself. And that developed some leadership in you.
Yeah. I never in a million years understood feeling what a grandparent really was going to be like. And it's the most beautiful, wonderful blessing ever. But I don't think, because of how close I've always been with them, my role got blurred for me. Some grandparents, they come visit a couple of times a year. So there's not that literally intimate relationship. With my grandkids, I've literally grown up with them. So my own internal lines, I think, got blurred along the way.
Okay. That's a great observation. And so as you're noticing that, and the lines you're noticing that were blurred, could it be possible that they got blurred because you weren't deciding who you were going to be specifically for them as they were growing up? Because, see, as they're growing up, you're also growing up.
Right.
And so they're 5 years old, they're 8 years old, they're 15 years old. You're also, I'm not going to throw your age out there.
Whatever.
I'm just playing. But you're growing, right, through your 40s to your 50s. You're growing alongside them, but you're also growing and developing as a leader and deciding how you want to be in a relationship with them. And so as you're growing up with them, they're going to be challenging you to see what they can get away with, just like they do with their parents.
Right.
Because that's what we do as kids. I'm going to play. I'm
going
to test mom
push,
to see what I can get away with. I'm going to
Yeah.
test dad. So we already know how to play our mom and dad. That's just what we do as kids. It's almost like this natural phenomenon. Well, when grandma's there, I'm going to test grandma too. I'm going to see what I can get away with grandma.
Yeah, they know me.
And you've been deciding, whether it was conscious or unconscious, you've been choosing to say yes or no to things, but I don't think you realize that they were testing you to see how much they can get.
I was living
away
a very
with.
unconscious life.
All right.
Then.
So now that you're honest enough to acknowledge that, now you're from a conscious place, you're looking back going, because that was happening, they already have me figured out. They already know what I can get away with.
Right.
You just now have to decide what that number is. If it's an 0 to 10, if it's an 8, and they can get away with an 8 or a 9 with you, you got to decide, is that 8 or 9 helping them or hindering them in their growth?
Right.
Especially if they're living with you or they're around you a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of times as grandparents, we don't realize we're co-parenting with our kids, our young adult kids, because, you know, mom and dad are holding this line, but they can go to the back house and go to grandma's house, and grandma doesn't have the line.
Right.
Or they can go, hey, what did your mom and dad say? Well, they said 6. Well, then I'm a 6.5. Versus, well, there's no number here.
Right,
Just go ahead, knock yourself out, kid. You know, so if you're gonna be, I think, around them a lot, whether you like it or not, you're helping raise them. If they're in a different city or a different town,
It's
and they
very
come,
different.
yeah, they come visit you, you can love on them all you
literally
want
grandma
for a
myself
weekend,
all over the
yeah.
place.
But if they're the kind of grandkids that they're around you a lot, I'm sorry to give you this news, but you're co-parenting. You're co-parenting with your kids, and so you have to try to figure out how to be in alignment with your kids, their parents. However, you get to tell them, I'm going to be around your line, but I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to do it more in a more loving way. And yes, is there room for me to figure out how to hold a little bit more line so that it's consistent with the line you're holding? I'm going to try to figure out how to dial that in so that it works. And I'm hoping I'm painting a picture for you to try to figure out how to dial it back a little bit so that.
Well, I think just understanding that I can do that and still be that loving grandparent or loving person that I am, and the person that with everything I say, you know, I say it from my heart. I don't have to choose, you know, I can only be this way, or I actually get to do both of those things. Just have to see what that looks like.
Well, you just shared with me how it looks on the break.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the breaks, because sometimes some of the best stuff comes out in the break when no one's listening. Yeah. But you shared with me a scenario where
I said no.
Yeah, they came to you and asked you a question, and you said no. And you said their response was, okay, Grandma, and they moved on. And you were like, there was no repercussions. They honored and respected
mad at
it.
Me.
Yeah.
They didn't go upstairs and close the door.
So that's a great example that when you decide to hold the line, draw a line, and say no to certain things, you got to trust that they will honor and respect that. And when they don't, now it's an opportunity for you to explain why. Because when you were sharing that story, I thought to myself, did you say why, or you just said no and they accepted it?
I just said no.
Okay, got it. Now you're going to have some of those scenarios where they're just going to go, okay, and then there's no explanation needed. However, there are going to be some times where you're going to say no, and they're going to have a little hissy fit, and then later on you go, hey, honey, do you know why I said no? Well, no, you just don't want me to. No, that's not why. Let me explain to you why. And then 9 times out of 10, when you explain yourself, they go, yeah, that makes sense. And then, so it's going to require for you to learn how to communicate a little bit more effectively.
Right.
So that when you're saying no to your son or daughter or your grandkids, that they know why.
But to be open and honest, I haven't given myself that opportunity to learn how to effectively communicate with them because I don't say no.
Right. So now, so you got your first no in there. Yay. That's the first lesson you learn in Enabling 101 is to say no. So now you learned that saying no isn't the end of the world.
Right.
And even a no can support somebody, especially if you've been hanging out in the enabling side for such a long time. Now we're going to practice saying a little bit more no's and having the courage to say that. Now, after the third one the third no that they're going to get or they're going to be okay with, the fourth one they're not. And so now it's going to be an opportunity to walk in their room or wherever they're at when they're frustrated or mad at you because they're not getting what they want.
Right.
Is to say, you know what, honey, let me explain to you why I said no. And then it gets to be a dialogue. This is why. You might find that they might re-enroll you into, you know what, Grandma, I get why you were saying no to me. However, you've always told me that you trusted me and that you have, and then you go, man,
Got me.
yeah. And so, but wouldn't that be an amazing
Yes.
relationship that
Yes.
you can say no, come back, explain why, they understand why, and then re-enroll you into,
Why they asked in the first place.
and then you get to go, you know what? I hear you, kid. I'll tell you what, how about we create now a hybrid answer where there's a win-win?
Yeah.
Or just a possibility of that scenario rolling out multiple ways is a breakthrough from the traditional parent or grandparent that just says, no, I'm sorry, and wonder why our kids don't want to talk to us or don't trust us because we don't come back and have an open dialogue with them and explain why.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, our parents never explained themselves. They didn't have to.
I
It was because
I don't think we were clear in our own heads.
no, this is why.
Why?
They said no, and when we asked why, the response was
Because I said
because
so.
I said so. That's the era we grew up in.
Yes.
But today's kids, the millennials and the generation Y, the Y generation, they need to know why.
Why?
Why, Mom? Why did you say no?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I said no, to be honest with you, son, because I'm afraid. Which most parents won't be vulnerable enough to share that. Or, you know what, I don't know why I said no. Can I have time to think about it? See, this is mindful, conscious parenting.
Yes.
A lot of us, we just say no, and we don't know why we say no.
Because we think we get to.
Yeah, it's my right to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have
Right.
a reason.
Or we'll say no because, and then we point the finger. Last
Yeah.
time I said yes, you didn't keep your word. Or last time I said yes, you didn't follow through with what you were going to say. Or I had to pay a price. Or it cost me whatever the
Right.
price was. So, but, if we can say no and then notice that they're struggling with that, we get to follow back up and have a discussion and go, hey, I notice you're having a tough time getting off the no. Let's talk about it. Let me explain to you why I said it. And
Yeah.
then there's a dialogue. And I think this is what kids really want from us, is to be able to have parents or grandparents that follow back around, circle back around, check in with us, and then explain to it so that they go, oh, I get it now. And a lot of
And
times,
it's okay if they don't get it.
that's right. Yeah, because they're young.
Yeah.
They don't have as many years of wisdom that you have on the planet, where if I say yes, these are some of the things that might happen, and
Yeah.
I've seen them happen. So my fear comes up that if I say yes, these are the things that are going to happen. Now, if you can assure me or enroll me into that they're not, or you have a game plan, or you figured it out, and you can explain that to me, I might be open to a hybrid of a yes.
Right. A
Really?
hybrid.
Really, Grandma? Really, Mom?
Yeah. So let's keep talking.
Yeah, so let's keep talking. Enroll me.
Yeah.
I'm open.
Yeah.
I want to say yes.
Yeah.
However, the no is because of these 3 reasons here.
Makes so much sense when you say it.
What-
It's
what-
like, but when I'm in the midst of it, I just have to, I got courageous and said no yesterday, so I get to be courageous the next time, and be okay with whatever the response is.
Absolutely. And so there are different stages.
Yeah.
So what I've been talking about are stages 3, 5, 7, 8. You're right now just at the stage of just saying no. And so,
Right.
and I don't want to take that away from you. That's a great, no,
Don't
really.
take it away from
Yeah,
me.
no, it's a good, you're going down that road, which is
Yes.
awesome. So no is the early stages for you. It's good. You need to practice saying no more.
Yes.
I just wanted to open up that there's stage 2, 3, 4 of the no's.
Yes.
That it can be so much more beautiful in a relationship with your kids after you get past all right, now I've mastered no. Don't just now stay stuck at no.
Right.
Because by the 3rd one, the 12th one, the 20th one, they're going to be frustrated because they don't understand why you said no. They're going to harbor resentment towards you, and that resentment stacks up.
Right.
And then you have a kid that now you're wondering why they don't want to hang out with you no more or come out of the room and have dinner. It's because past the no, you never learn how to follow back up and explain the why.
The why.
Yeah.
There's I keep thinking, I'll ask them, how are you feeling? And then all of a sudden I decided I wasn't going to ask him how he was feeling anymore. I was going to ask him, what are you feeling? And because I kept saying, how are you feeling? And he, we'd get the shoulder shrug. Yeah, I'm fine, whatever. And then all of a sudden I asked him, well, what are you feeling? And so that incorporates my methodology, that when we get to that second and third, I get to ask him, yes, I said no. What are you feeling about that?
Yes.
Because
great.
he actually answered me.
That's great. And what was the answer? What's the feeling?
He was feeling anxious.
Okay. All right.
Which seems to be the trend.
Yeah.
Everybody's anxious today.
Yeah. Now I've known you for a while now to believe that, you want to say yes.
Why would somebody want to say no?
That's what I'm saying. So there's a party that wants to say yes. However, it has to be a yes where it's not hurting anyone,
right? You
or me. So I'm open to having you enroll me into seeing how we can have a yes, well, even if it's a hybrid of a yes.
I like the hybrid.
Yeah,
where we both get to have the input.
It's a negotiation.
Yeah.
Later on, when you learn how to negotiate in relationships, it's going to change all of your relationships. And that's a whole other topic, whole other show about how to negotiate. When you negotiate, you're open to hearing their side and then my side, and then we can create a hybrid solution that we negotiated that's a win-win for both of us. Most of us, we just go no, and that's it.
Yeah.
And today,
and nothing follows the no.
Yeah, and we don't never circle back around and go, hey, are you okay with the no?
Yeah.
And let me explain to you why. From my point of view, this is why I said no. These are some of my fears, or these are some of my reasons why. And you get to explain it to them. And if you're honest about it and they're honest, they'll go, yeah, you know what, Mom or Grandma, now I can see why you said no. It makes sense.
Yeah.
If I haven't kept my word, or I haven't followed through, or I'm the type of person who just let you down, I get it.
I get it.
And that's what you want to develop, those kinds of kids that can get to that place.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to be circling around more often than not.
Yeah.
If you have a mindful kid that's really aware, at a certain point you can just say no, and they're like, got it, and they can chuckle.
Yeah.
They can even tell you, I got it, because I had to try, Grandma.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
One of those, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, look, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to take it to, we'll wrap up the show. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
Santa Clarita, bedbugs are taking over our city. They've invaded our homes, our businesses, and most importantly, our sleep. If you have suspicious bites that appear nightly, or have a bug that you need ID'd, your best option is to make one call to All Pro. We offer a 100% guarantee that your bedbug issues will be solved with heat in one treatment. No need to tent or spray your house with chemicals. Heat is all you need. Call 661-298-2200 or text me a bug picture to 661-645-0540. It's time to sleep tight again, SCV.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Coming to the Canyon, Santa Clarita, Jared Neiman, Tower of Power, War, Buck Cherry, Julian Marley, Jack Russell's Great White, LA Guns, Jefferson Starship, Marcone, Los Lobos, Ambrosia, Naked Eyes, John B., Air Supply, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, The Dickies, Missing Persons, Berlin, A Flock of Seagulls, and more. Borderline Country Nights every Thursday, and the Canyon is the perfect place to host special events, so call 818-661-7237 and book yours today. The Canyon, Santa Clarita, where music meets the soul. Tickets available through Ticketmaster.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show, broadcasted here live on KHTS. Joining me in studio is my show host, Ellen Tunick. We've been talking about we've been talking about a lot of things.
We've been talking like
we started off
stuff.
with being stuck in the middle of family conflicts, and then it got on to so many other topics about enabling, how to say no, being open to discussing why we said no, opening up possibilities to have deeper discussions, being open to being enrolled by them of why it could be yes.
I would love that.
Yeah, but you can't get that.
Even get there.
You can't get there if you don't teach them how to have those kinds of conversations. If you don't create an opening for it. If you're the type of mom or dad that says no and don't circle back around, there's no opening for a discussion. You just get to be the dictator of your family, and you're wondering why, Tommy doesn't want to spend time with you. You're wondering why Tina, doesn't want to, hang out with you or whatever, because you've decided that you're the dictator of the family and the way you say goes, and there's no discussion about it. But if you're a mindful parent, you're practicing conscious parenting, you're going to follow back around, check in with them, and then have discussions with them about why you said no, and then hear them out. Some of my biggest breakthroughs have come when I've circled back around and I've heard their point of view. And then in those moments, I remembered being a kid where they were at, and I went, "Oh man,
yeah, I remember now."
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I go, "Look, I'm open to it." So, how about? And then that's where all the beautiful next level ideas come from. And then it goes, "How about I do this? How about we try it out this one time? If you can," and all of a sudden their face lights up, and then they get a chance to redeem themselves from a conscious, standpoint. There's a hybrid of it. It gives them an opportunity to have that new possibility or that new solution as a way for them to earn back their trust again. So there's so much growth that comes out of you being willing to open up new possibilities for yourself. I'm interested in hearing, what are some of the things that you learned today in this discussion? What are some of the ahas? Are there any golden nuggets? What are some of the things that you're
so many. What I learned is that no is not a bad word. It's an okay word to have. That it's really important for me to know what my personal boundaries are in this situation. To acknowledge that I've created a scenario which is enabling because of some fears that I have that aren't real. They're definitely made up fears. Nonetheless, I have them. So I've been,
and because you have them, they're real to you.
Yeah. So I've been, responding to those fears. But the biggest thing for me is understanding that my goal is to help and create a scenario where this person that I love so much gets a good start in life. Why would I want to hinder that? And now I get to love him and still create appropriate guidance where he gets that experience. And I've not created that experience for him.
Yeah, beautifully said. What's amazing is that we don't realize as parents or grandparents or anyone that's raising kids or part of raising kids that we can get in their way and hinder their own growth just because we love them too much, that we don't learn how to draw a line, or we have a different meaning to the word no.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or that's not, sorry, but that's not going to happen on my watch. Or we have a negative connotation to taking a stand.
Yes.
So inside of that, we have to learn how to create different meanings around the word no. We have to learn how to see no as being neutral.
Yeah.
First, right? No just means no. Everything after
that's an opportunity.
Well, no, not just an opportunity, but from the word no, no just means no. It's just neutral. However, everyone has a different meaning to no. So if I say no to you, you're automatically going to be triggered all of the different meanings of what no means to you.
Yes.
It triggers off all of this, your belief system goes haywire. No means I'm not good enough to some people. No means you don't trust me to some people. No, I mean, we can go on a whole list of what no means, right?
Yeah.
Rather than it just means no.
Yeah.
So by having that awareness, you can help people see no as just no.
Yeah.
By adding a little bit
It's
more.
not somebody's power trip.
Yeah, you just add a little more. You just add a little more detail to it, more information. So it would be like this. You know what, Ellen? It's a no for me right now. However, I love going to those things, and I want more than anything for you to keep reaching out to me so I can find a time slot that does work for me, because I want to be there, and especially experiencing it with you.
Yeah.
So
now I don't even hear the no.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. But when we just say no
and leave it there,
now it leaves the interpretation and the meaning maker that you have on your side. It leaves it open for you to fill in the blanks.
Right.
Then I'm wondering why you don't call me no more, why all that's happening. You know, you're upset at me or whatever, and I go, what's going on?
Right.
And you're not going to tell me it's because you said no to me.
Right.
Right? Yeah. You're just gonna make up an excuse. However, if I go no, but you know what? The no's only because I got something on my schedule. But will you? I really want to go to one of those. Will you keep reaching out to me?
Touch base with me next time.
Check in with me again, because that's so. If you give someone a little bit more explanation after the no, it really helps them put the framework into that. The no means no specifically for what you just gave me, not no means all of my insecurities and all of my beliefs that I attach to that no.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, the whole concept of no has now, for me personally, the whole concept has changed.
Because you were open to have this dialogue. I think before we got on the show, I said, "Are you open to coaching?" And you said yes. And
I got coached real good on that one.
So did I. But so did I. Because whether I understand this or know this or am learning it, I just learned it again in a different way by having the dialogue with you. So now I'm more mindful of what no means. I get to get clarity on that no is neutral until I give it meaning. So that's why these discussions are good. And that's why we want to invite more people to be listening into some of these discussions so that we can be more effective in our relationships, be more effective in communicating, so that our kids aren't making up stories that we only live and our only purpose is to make their life miserable, which is probably what they've made up, because they don't know what it's like to walk in the shoes of a parent that loves their kids more than anything in the world.
And we can't expect them to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's all the time we have. We're here every Friday at noon. Follow us on Facebook at Coach Alex Urbina. I'm also on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks for joining us on the Alex Urbina Radio Show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.